I think first year, especially, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. So you have no expectations, you have no real solid goals other than go through the first season and see what happens. And, we're fortunate to close the year last year with some really good wins and, have some really good success. And that kind of set the tone for this year. And I felt like this year I had a lot more, um, you know, uh, expectations, you can say that, maybe self-imposed pressure to do better, and I think every year teaches you lessons, and I think this year has been humbling in a sense that, you still have to put in the work and be passionate about what you do every day just to have a chance. Working hard and competing hard doesn't guarantee you success. That is the minimum required. So I think we gotta keep up, keep doing it. You know.
Absolutely. And so we're talking about how the year ended and really sat down, talk about the conference tournament. And that's what's coming up this weekend
Yeah.
and the season with a tough 5-4 loss against a lineup that you said you had some guys ill, some injuries, and you subbed a guy in. One match is the difference between a regular season championship and not, but now you get another shot for the tournament title. What are you looking for out of the weekend?
Well, I think it's tough. It's tough as it is. There are. I mean, St. Mary's a very good team. Newman is obviously a really good, dangerous team as well. We had a lot of trouble with them last year in conference, um, and this year has been quite interesting. Felix being injured all season, and every match we would play would be almost match time decision. How do you feel today? Well, I can't really do anything, so okay, you won't play. He's been feeling better. And then when he gets back into the lineup, and then you lose two guys, one to injury, one came down with the flu, and I mean they were better that day, but we were so close. Like I said, it came down to 1 or 2 points. So I'm looking forward to having my full lineup and see how we perform then. But it's going to be tough. It's always tough. Conference tournament. You basically now every match you play is live or die. Every match you start might be the last match of the season, and how you handle that pressure sometimes is more important than who's in the lineup and who you're playing against. So it's going to be interesting to see how the freshmen respond to that.
Kind of hinted at the number of close matches you've had this year. A
Yes.
lot of 5-4 matches, not a lot of them going the way that you wanted. For those who aren't necessarily students of tennis, what's the difference in those matches, and what can make the difference for your team to make it 5-4 the other way for you? Is it a mental thing? Is it a talent thing on the court? What's the difference so that you can flip it?
Well, you can go two ways about it. One, you can say, okay, if I had my two seniors healthy, if Felix was in the lineup, I feel pretty confident that out of the 9 5-4s we had, I'll flip 5 of them just having him in the lineup. So you can say talent can be an issue or a factor, right? But you can go in a different way and say it really comes down to 1 or 2 points. I mean, you look back at matches where we had, set points that were never won, break points that were never won, no ed. When we play D1, you play no ads. So 5, 6, 7 no ads, and you win one of them. I mean, you flip one of those, and you flip the outcome of one match. Is all it is the outcome of one match. Is your number two guy, instead of losing 7-5 in the third, is winning that 1 point and flipping to a 7-5 in the third in our favor. I mean, it comes down to 1 point. I think the biggest thing is that we have competed very well, and we've been in every match that we played, and I think that's important. It creates this character to the program and to the team that hopefully will carry over year after year, and then you're just trying to make 1% better every year. If you continue to get better, then maybe next year we're sitting right here talking about how we won 9 times 5-4 instead of losing 5-4 9 times. So that's the difference. It's 1%.
Absolutely. And so taking a look at your team, you kind of have a mix from senior all the way down through freshman. Have some freshmen who step up, but and you talked about Felix Bate kind of being out with injury all season, but you've had Maximo Goglia, who, when you look at it, he's only lost one singles match in Heartland Conference play in a 4-year career.
Yes.
Because arguably he's not necessarily the most talented on your team. You have him at number 3, but with that kind of experience, what does that mean heading into a tournament like this, where, like you said, it's live or die each match?
Well, well, specifically about Max, the only matches ever lost in conference was last week against St. Mary's on his last regular season conference match, and he lost to a freshman from St. Mary's that's going to be a very good college player, so it wasn't a bad loss. Um, you know, Max is a great competitor. He might not be the most talented player, but he's got a huge heart. He competes to the end. He never gives up. He never stops believing that he can turn a match around. And, in a sense, he is the heartbeat of this team, as he should, as the only senior in the lineup right now. So I think it's good to have someone like that brings a lot of energy, a lot of heart, a lot of leadership. You can tell other guys are looking up to him, and it's someone that I use sometimes as a second opinion. There have been a lot of times this semester and even last semester where I'll shoot him a text or two and say, hey, what do you think about this? So getting his input is valuable to me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing. Last year he clinched. He came back from being 2-5 down in the third set against Newman in the final, and he won 5 games in a row, and he clinched, and we won the title, and that led us into regionals, and then we won regionals and ended up making the Sweet 16. That, I feel like that was the moment that turned our season around, and that was due to his, like I said, his heart and his competitiveness, and I think that's more important than anything else.
So looking at the other spectrum of it, the freshmen, last year you graduated essentially one senior, and yet half of your lineup this year is newcomers, including Charlie Shin, who's a junior transfer.
Yeah.
You have Mateos, and you have Logan.
Right.
And, half of your lineup, and you still have Nico waiting in the wings, ready to step up at any time. What have these freshmen done?
You got
for
Jared,
you?
who was ineligible
Right.
last year, also a transfer. I mean, last year I only had 6 players. So that adds a different type of pressure where you're literally tailoring practice on a daily basis to make sure no one gets injured, right? No one is sick. I mean, you're walking a very fine line, and so the goal this year was I need to bring some players so I have at least some personnel that if somebody gets injured, I have someone to put in there. But that creates a different pressure because you got guys that are not playing or guys that are, on the bubble, the 5, 6, 7, 8 position, and that puts a different type of pressure on them. But I think two things. One is the potential for this team is there. I think Logan and Mateos are going to have amazing careers at St. Edward's. I think Charlie, coming from a D1 school, adds that experience, even though he didn't play a lot, but, he's seen it. He's been around the block a couple times. Jared played for St. Mary's. He transferred to us. So he has the experience of being even in the conference. You can't put a price on that, You add that to, Max, the senior, and hopefully, not hopefully, but if Felix was in the lineup, you would have been a pretty strong team. I mean, we're still strong. I mean, we only have 1 loss in conference to the best team of the conference right now. And I think things are lined up to be another showdown, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you for the time, Coach, and
No
good
problem.
luck this weekend.
Thank you very much.